The conversation now, national security analyst, retired Marine Corps intelligence officer Hal Kempfer. Hal, thank you so much for hopping on for this breaking news. So this is now the second deadly shooting involving federal agents in recent weeks. The Trump administration up to this point has said, rhetoric from public officials, it's leading to this violence. And if you would just let us into your jails, we've heard this time and time again from the border czar, Tom Homan, we wouldn't have to be roaming the streets doing these types of operations. What are your thoughts on some of those claims?
Kelly, my thoughts are we might be at a strategic inflection point in terms of what's going on from a White House standpoint. President Trump, of course, has already threatened more than once about imposing the Insurrection Act. My understanding is the White House made some comments about it that where he basically said that what Governor Walz was saying, what the mayor of Minneapolis was saying, was basically, quote, inciting an insurrection, unquote. That sounds to me like the president is poised to potentially invoke the Insurrection Act, and that does change things. That would allow federal law or federal troops to actually be deployed to Minnesota, and with the Insurrection Act in place, they actually could do law and order activities, law enforcement activities on the streets. And that would be a huge shift. That would be similar to kind of what we've seen earlier, sort of what we saw in Washington, D.C., but obviously the mayor of Minneapolis and the governor of Minnesota do not want to see that at all. And it does set up a potentially politically precarious situation, but also a very dynamic situation on the streets of Minneapolis.
Right. Dynamic to know. Also, there are concerns about escalation all at the same time. So what do you see as the impact of those troops being sent in?
Well, initially, based on what I'm seeing so far, and of course, as we see in this scene, a lot of protest activity, setting up barricades. This is getting close to the stuff you kind of see, obstructing federal law enforcement. And that would be the legal predicate that the president would probably cite, the White House would cite for invoking the Insurrection Act. And if that does happen, you'll probably see a brigade, about 1,500 troops is what they said, a brigade of troops flying out from Alaska from the 11th Airborne Division. And then there is the possibility the president could turn around and federalize either part or all of the Minnesota National Guard, which would deny Governor Walz the ability to even use the Guard, the Minnesota National Guard in his state if they're federalized. And I have no doubt that all of this will be challenged in court, but those are some things that could be done by the White House, particularly citing the invocation of the Insurrection Act.
Right. And the president at this hour, or the administration as a whole, the DOJ, launching this investigation into Governor Walz, also Minneapolis Mayor Frye. And I'm curious, Hal, of your thoughts on this, because the governor did post to X in recent hours that Minnesota's had it, that this is sickening. The president must end this operation, pull the thousands of violent, untrained officers out of Minnesota now. And obviously, this death is a tragedy, but what are the ramifications of this sort of rhetoric, calling these officers violent and untrained as you see it? We have about 20 seconds left.
Yeah, I just want to point out they're neither intrinsically violent nor untrained. And I hear this untrained thing a lot from a lot of different points. They went to the Federal Law Enforcement Training Center. They went through a curriculum of training. They were all selected to go there. Many of them are veterans who have had a lot of military training. Many of them come from other types of law enforcement, whether corrections or sworn officers. So this idea that they're untrained, it seems to be a narrative, and putting out that narrative, which is implicitly false, I think adds a lot of fuel to the fire, if you will, which eventually could lead to the imposition or the invoking of the Insurrection Act.
Well, I certainly appreciate that context, Hal. Always great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.